Well, good evening. I'm Jim McGinnis, back here on the back porch waiting for a storm that I do not believe is going to make it here. We got a nice breeze, crickets, frogs, assorted other bugs singing some songs. I wanted to share with you something here that I wrote called Believer. Hope you like it. Last time I set my feet on land, it was right around Election Day. I bought myself a pair of Sunday shoes and headed in to listen to the Reverend preaching news. But on the street outside where hopes abound, I turned and heard the smoky sound of saxophone. Then found myself wandering down to sit on steps with an old black man who tried to make me understand that God is all around. Please play, I say. Just play the blues so we don't have the blues. Gotta get 'em out, Irishman, he replied. Out and away. Then play he did with the soul of an ancient and the heart of a kid beneath that old canvas awning. But it wasn't just the blues. It was Coltrane. Dear Lord, there in the lightly falling rain, dear Lord. How'd you know I was Irish? I asked when he finished. He laughed and pointed to the shamrock hanging from my neck, and that pink skin of yours gave it away. What have you been doing on that boat of yours? Drifting. Drifting out a mile or two offshore. That's where I like to be. Tide pulls, wind pushes, currents flow, but no man drives me. And how'd you know I was a boatman? He laughed again. Why church then? Well, I could use a few prophets, I answered. I don't know about you. Maybe a Christian, Hindu, Muslim, or Jew. I'm thinking a Buddhist will do. Well, he said, my own mind is my own church, old Tom Paine would say. I'm the captain of my search, out and away. You got to be your own priest on the journey down to become the very least. Out, down, and away. Where are you from? Me? Here. Never lived anywhere else but here. Family came from Pittsburgh after World War II. I asked him if by chance he knew the Foggy Dew. I do not, he answered without apology. Too bad. So, when did they come from the old country, he continued. I don't know, 1880. Then he laid it on me. People weren't actually coming here, you know. They were getting out of, the hell out of, and away from, there. All that degradation, oppression, and despair. Except your people, I said. They were taken. My people? He replied without irony. My kinfolk were runaways, that's all I know, fleeing to the Everglades, adopted by the Seminole and other renegades, including a few Irishmen. They moved to the islands away from Crow, then back here when I was born, 70 years ago or so. Wasn't much better then. Yeah, that's the way it is all over, he answered. But here in this place lives an idea. Any man or woman free from all the brimstone rants can take their liberty at second glance. Disenthralled, as Lincoln said, free in great wide open space, each can find a sovereign grace. Then he played some more. This time it was Wise One, I think. I glanced down at his luggage and wondered if he was some sort of traveling preacher, or maybe in his heart of hearts a history teacher. He kept playing for a few minutes, then muttered something else about wide open spaces. Somebody needs to hold on, to remember. The idea, the dark man said, is one we can't forget just because we can't live up to it. It's no load to carry. Maybe it is, maybe it ain't, I replied. He seemed not to hear me, and spoke again of folks moving out and away, out and away, but they were chased across the continent. Yeah, chased or run over, I said. Ha, he went on. First the smoke of another man's chimney, I guess that's okay, but soon a town all made of blocks with many doors and many locks, then a bank or two, and church with steeple, to ring the bells and summon all the people. We sing those hymns and ring the bells, but beware, my friend, with priest and dogma come the infidels. Now, the dogma part, that was Jefferson. You know Jefferson? Yeah, I answered. I know he was a shadow man, so I try to take in all the good I can. The rest, well, after all these years, I guess we found that we still need him. Then what's the purpose, I asked. What's with this freedom? He shrugged his shoulders. Well, what would that red-haired wonder say? I bet it'd be something about getting out and away. It's a gift, you know. We're obliged, not just allowed, to cut a path uncharted, to live a life unbowed. Whew, I said. I think you've been reading my mail. Then I stood up slowly from the steps, holding on to the rusty rail. The sky lightened and a breeze blew, taking with it all the rain, and I was heartened by his lesson. Strange how small rebellions keep us sane. He played, then stopped again. I thanked him for helping ease my American blues. Where are you going, Irishman, in those shiny Sunday shoes? I looked up at clearing skies and then over at his old smiling eyes. I might find a ball game or head over to the library. He said angels live in libraries. Last time I went, I had to step over one, sleeping in a doorway. I smiled, then turned and wandered off, looking for some Jefferson, Whitman, or Thoreau. Maybe some Dylan, I don't know. I'll take a little time and trouble, spend some hope. On Tuesday cast my vote, and then I'll go to the woods or back on the boat and try to find Jesus on my own. Fair winds.